I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. The signals were all clear as trains of all kinds made their way through Saline Middle School to celebrate 48 years on the rails.
Aboard!
The Ann Arbor Model Railroad Club welcomed passengers during their annual train show and sale.
We have a small 4x5 foot layout that one of our club members brings in that gives the kids a hands-on opportunity to actually run a train. We have the 7 1/4 scale live steam engine where that's big enough you can actually sit on it and ride it. What you have at the show is typically a modular layout. The layout is built on small sections to a certain standard that allows that module to be placed next to another module.
The larger-than-life models caused quite a locomotion.
There are quite a few of us, myself included, who just like the diversity of European trains, from, you know, the different kinds of passenger trains, bullet trains, different types of freight trains, whether they're running off of diesel power, steam, or electricity off the overhead wires. It's just a lot more of a mix.
My favorite part, I think, is being able to operate independently. Since we use a DCC system, which is digital command control, it makes each car individually controlled, and that way we can run as many cars as we have throttles.
There's something for everyone. It's nice to see so many kids, and even if you're not big into trains, the Lego display alone is worth coming out to see.
Keep the whistles blowing and the wheels rolling.
This yearly fundraiser supports the Ann Arbor Model Railroad Club and their headquarters, Dexter Depot. For more, visit aamrc.org. Stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly with more news and information. Snakes, spiders, gators, they bring out fear in many of us. But one man is on a mission to teach us more about these species and how to happily cohabitate.
The Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum welcomed Dan the Creature Man and his animal friends that make up the Little Creatures Company.
When I was in high school, I started working in pet shops and also volunteering at nature centers, and realized I really loved these animals and wanted to work with them as long as I could. And now, quite a few years later, I still am, and what I do is run a small outreach program from my home where I take my exotic pets around to schools, libraries, and other places where there are kids pretty much every day and do animal programs for them.
For nearly 30 years, Dan has been sharing his exotic pets with the masses.
I maintain about 45 species of animals, which I take care of every single day. It's a lot of work, but I enjoy it. Most of what I brought today are the tamer, calmer, and more interesting small animals that I've got, but I tried to bring some that are very touchable, you know, because we're at the Hands-On Museum and it's safe for the kids to touch most of them.
We even got up close and personal with a lively lizard.
He eats 12 crickets a day, and if you look closely here, he has a tail called a prehensile tail, which they use because of where they live, on branches of trees and plants in Madagascar. But it's called a panther chameleon. It's one of the more colorful types of chameleons. I try to just teach people to understand them better, and just, you know, if you see a snake in the wild or a tarantula, it's not going to come running and bite your leg for no reason. If you go after it, that's a different story, but they're not evil creatures. Most wild animals stay away from people, spiders and snakes included.
For more information or to book your own show with Dan the Creature Man, visit littlecreaturesco.com. As the city covers in snowflakes, there's some need-to-know information for residents and businesses alike as they keep their sidewalks safe for pedestrians. Learn about snow removal guidelines in the city of Ann Arbor in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hello, my name is Robert Keller with the City of Ann Arbor. Winter means snow and ice, and that makes it hard for people to get around the city, especially pedestrians. So as a resident and business, you need to do your part and help clear your sidewalks of ice and snow. What does that mean? Well, for residents, it means any snow accumulation greater than 1 inch has to be cleared within 24 hours. If you're a business, any snow accumulation by 6 a.m. needs to be cleared by noon the same day. So help do your part, clear your adjacent sidewalks, crosswalk ramps, and any concrete bus stops that may be adjacent to your property, and help make it easier for people to get around the great city of Ann Arbor.
Dancing makes you smile, laugh, and even work up a sweat. Although it's a great way to get your body moving, it doesn't feel like that traditional workout. Dance with Gina is reaching the community through mind, body, and spirit. Joining me is Gina Thompson, here to fill us in on how dance can reshape all of you. Welcome to the show, Gina.
Thank you.
Why don't you first tell us about your background in dance and what kind of led you to Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti, Washtenaw County?
I graduated from Arbor, Huron, and my dad's a professor at Eastern. So we got here when I was a sophomore in high school, and I was a gymnast when I was in Iowa, where we were before, and came here and decided that I wanted to try out for the cheerleading team. And then eventually, after I graduated and came back, I became the cheerleading coach at Ann Arbor Huron.
Really?
And I was going to make a change, was going to leave Ann Arbor, and tried to figure out what made me the happiest over my life, what direction I was going to go. It was always dancing or doing choreography. So that's what I chose, and I then went to San Francisco to train.
And so tell us a little bit about your training.
So I started dancing when I was a kid. My mom was my first dance teacher. She taught a creative dance class, very, you know, you're a tree blowing in the wind, and just free movement. And then went, you know, through cheerleading and this and that jazz. You know, I danced with Robert Thomas, who is the Joffrey II ballet teacher and director in Iowa when I was dancing in Iowa. And it was pretty serious, but it wasn't something that I was only doing. I was doing sports and lots of stuff. Then, like I said, I was making a decision for my life. And so I went to San Francisco, went to San Francisco City College, and they had 5,000, 4,000 dancers in a dance program. Some of it was social dance, so it was swing and partner dancing and ballroom, huge amount of people, and they also had a very serious classical performance program, which I was a part of. And so I studied Dunham technique and the Graham technique, which is modern, and of course choreography, and then obviously ballet is a huge part of the training. And then I'm also a Pilates and a yoga instructor, so my training is quite round.
You're always working out, basically.
Pretty much. Yes, thinking about the body.
So you came back to Ann Arbor, and then you started doing dance classes with a lot of kids, but adults can do it too.
Oh yes, I have classes that are both young beginner, but also adult moderate, you know, movers. There's always modifications that you can do if you can't do things going to the floor, or you can't do some of the tricks that we do. There's always a way to make it so it works for each person. I'd like for everybody to get through 8 to 9 classes before they make any decisions on whether or not they're good at it.
How often do the classes meet?
So I work based on semester, and the first semester always begins at the end of September, runs to mid-December. We start up again in mid-January, run through I think early April. I do a quick little April and some camps in the summer.
So what kind of dancing are you teaching? Let's start off with the young ones, because you start classes at around 3 years old. And is that typical, like around 3, when you can put your child in a dance class?
Yeah, I think kids make it known if they want to move. And they will show you maybe even from when, you know, before they're born.
I got a baby dancer, but she's a baby still, so she's about 1.5 years. But I'm like, when can I put her in a dance class? Because I think she'd really enjoy it.
Well, First Steps has a mommy and me entire situation, and that starts at about 2, 2.5, depending on the you know, mentality of the kid. And then at 3, I start to take them into a creative dance situation. And we just find dance in everything. It can be athletically driven, it can be musically driven, it can be, here's a star on the floor, let's make stars. And then we try to make our bodies into stars. And let's turn stars and let's leap stars.
Yeah.
Anything in a room could turn into movement for a creative dance class.
So then you go in, so you have the little kids, they're about 3 to 5-ish, and then you go on, and once the kids get to the next step, they could be with, you said, what, 7 to 70?
7 to 70 is really what I'm teaching. But with the kids, it's about 7, 8 years old again, and I like to run in tandem with some very rigid dance classes, like some ballet classes, because it's a vocabulary, and some of the kids will get very frustrated if they don't understand the vocabulary. So I teach the basic, first position, second position, that type of thing, so they know what they're doing. We do chassés and that type of thing, and then we put them together like sentences. My students get a chance to do their own choreography and to perform back and forth for each other, and then always a show, one way or another.
So do you feel like you mentioned ballet is kind of like a basic for learning? Is that like the #1 sort of dance that you should sort of know some basics, or are there some other dances that maybe will help you get to where you want to be?
So there are several techniques. There is obviously ballet, which is the foundation of most movement. But any of the Afro-Haitian, the Dunham technique is also a strict technique. So you could learn any of the things that you're learning from ballet from Dunham technique, but you have to be in a technique class in order to really understand the movement in general. Otherwise, lots of times kids come in, but I can dance, just by myself, but that's not taking a class, and that's not learning choreography, and that's not, spatial awareness and all the other pluses that you get from being in a dance class. It's really not just the movement.
Yeah. And I also liked, before the show we were talking about how a lot of times dance classes are like beginners, intermediate, but you actually are putting all of those people together, and it's more about the individual person and their ability.
It is. It's once I get the student past that, then it really is an experience where when you walk into a dance class, you should feel like, at the beginning, a third of it is familiar, so the warm-up is familiar, right? A third of it is challenging, but you get through it, and the third of it is just a nightmare, and you really want to come back and figure out what you didn't get right. And it changes every time, so it's motivating. It's not like you're going to understand it and then it's over. It's always something new to add to the process of learning. So a beginner should expect to stand in the back, should expect to understand a half of what's going on, and should expect to have a really good time, but not walk out of there feeling like, ready for fame or flash dance or whatever. And just be easy on themselves. And then, there's a basic vocabulary, and it repeats. So you can get quite a bit of success in one semester even.
So if people want to dance with Gina, how can they go about doing this? Is there a phone number, a website they can go to?
So there's a website, and it is, I'm using so a lot. There's a website, and it's www.puredanceensemble.com, which is the name of my dance company. And then a Facebook page, and then the show that I wrote, Beaumont, has a Facebook page also. So any of those contacts, you can also contact Riverside Arts, and they can put you in contact directly with me.
Okay, so before we go, why don't you just tell people why they should maybe check out a dance class and maybe the benefits of taking a dance class?
I mean, I think that the fitness craze is extremely important, and we do all of the same things you're going to do at any gym, in any aerobics class, any of that stuff, except for it's not going to be aerobic as far as, it's more anaerobic as far as the heart is concerned, but you're going to get your stretches in, you're going to get your abs in. Even if you're taking strictly for fitness, you're going to get a workout, and you're going to notice change in your body, but most of all, you're going to notice change in your energy and your spirit. Hopefully you're looking forward to coming to class. When you leave class, even if it was difficult, you should have those endorphins going. So it's almost like the way that you look at your body is different when you have a dance class versus the way that you look at your body when it's just for fitness. Because it's not about, you know, getting in there and making sure you're, you know, losing 2 pounds or whatever. 2 pounds are going to go off. Your abs are going to get tighter. You have to for a dance class. But it's not like, okay, now I got to do 50 push-ups, and now I got to.
Yeah,
We
and it's
do
like
all that,
you don't
but-
want to do it. Like
Yeah.
you don't get that feeling where it's like the dread of
Yeah.
having to go work
There's
out.
no dread.
Yeah.
Some people have a hard time with the mirrors, but I personally don't look at them. I sort of look through the mirror
Yeah.
and look at lines maybe, but that's it. And I'm not staring at myself. That would be hard. But if you get past the mirror and get past a little self-talk, it's really fun. All the music is amazing, and I try to use things from the 70s and from the 80s. It's pretty gentle as far as the kids are concerned, as far as the methodology of the music. It's a great beat. It's, you know, always 4/4. There's lots of bass. Sometimes we have drums in the studio. Great. It's fun.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Gina.
Thank you.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/watchctn. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.